Gentlemen, could I begin by saying what a great honor is for me to have been invited to address the concluding session of this important conference. The main purpose of my talk is to give some pointers concerning how we might best reinforce the European research area. And I have divided my talk in two parts. The first, a brief outline of the main principles that I believe we should have constantly before us. The second is about some recommendations concerning European research area. Insofar the main principles are involved, there are, in my opinion, three foundational requirements we should follow in building a European research area. The steps we take should be constructed in specific, measurable and concrete terms. The creation of area is not a matter of European fiat. It will happen if different sectors pool their resources and feel that they are a real advantage to doing so. Europe can act as a catalyst, and even more than this, European and national programs and policies should be conceived in such a way that researchers are naturally drawn to share information, to cooperate more fully, and to move freely inside Europe. Secondly, we should make a real effort to further simplification and flexibility. One of the main difficulties that we experience at the moment is the amount of time that it takes to get anything done in the European research area domain. It could take up to 5 years to set up a cooperation, and we had a case. For example, the first time that we set up the platform for research in malaria, AIDS and tuberculosis. Obviously, the existing programs and the instruments, such as the joint program, the PPPs, are still too complex and time-consuming. We should make a real effort to simplify and speed up the process to attract the best researchers into these instruments. Thirdly, it is also of prime importance that we bear in mind the actual financing process and instruments. It is true we need to improve the existing instruments, but there is no point in creating a whole new set of new instruments. This is above all the case if these turn out to involve additional complexities of their own. With regard to the second part of recommendations, there are a series of recommendations, but I'm going only to focus on three recommendations. Firstly, as we work on completing Horizon 2020, following on from what I have said, it is essential that we design the relevant instruments and the rules of participation in such a way that they will actively contribute to European research area. In future, we need to make sure that the instruments can be set up much more quickly, that they are simpler, more user-friendly, and therefore efficient. Secondly, it is equally important that we create synergies between the regional, national and European levels. In this point, I have some remarks in this respect. Firstly, one step forward would be to synchronize the different administrative and financial rules between the different programs, regional, national and EU levels. European Commission has put a lot of effort on the simplification of the rules, administrative rules and financial rules. It will be very much appreciated if we could see similar exercise of simplification at the national and regional level programs for research. This will, of course, increase the possibility of synergies between the programs. Secondly, is concerned about evaluation. It is possible to have separate funding at regional, national and European level. However, there is nothing to stop us to envisage joint evaluation of proposals at European level. Evaluation of proposals, of research proposals, at EU level would create critical mass and by its very nature further excellence. Excellence in research is best stimulated through EU-wide competition. Thirdly, at the moment that just over 10% of applicants receive EU funding in some of the the best instruments like the European Research Council, what we need is that the different member states could contribute with funds to the financing of European Research Council or, for example, Marie Curie actions. And they could finance proposals that their countries have came up with and that meet the criteria of excellence, but they could not be funded due to the lack of available European funds. That will be a very simple way to stress the cooperation between member states and European level. Just some ideas that we can elaborate in a more complete list of ideas, very pragmatic and concrete, how to build European research area in an efficient and simple way. All of this represents, I believe, a real step in the right direction, a step towards a more integrated and efficient European research area. And these reflections are very important for us now in the Parliament, that we are preparing the reports concerning Horizon 2020. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mrs. Carvalho. And now it's my pleasure to give the floor to Kostas Iokouvou, who is the Director of the Cyprus Planning Bureau.